saying goodbye to noise with Luminar Neo's Noiseless AI is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new year. Now, while we were away, I did get to photograph my nephew playing basketball. Horrible conditions. You're in a school gymnasium, very low light, and I didn't bring my fast lens. So the fastest I could shoot was f6, which meant the ISO had to bump up to over 5,000 ISO. All right? And you can tell what's going to happen here, right? Well, here it is. Look at this. Look how horrible that noise is. Watch this. This is what we're going to do with it with Noiseless AI. Now, I do want to point out that, again, this was photographed. I did photograph this at f6 because that's what the lowest I can get the f-stop to. And I did have to bring the shutter down to 400 of a second, or 1/400 of a second, which meant you have to be very, very still, especially in action sports, and pan as you go. Everything I could do to get this to where the ISO wasn't much higher than 5,000 is what I had to do. So with that being said, there's only so much we could do to fix this. So this is what we're going to end up doing with it. And what I want to do is I'm going to start from scratch. So let's just come in here. I'm going to get rid of all this for us. Let me discard it. There we go. So here's the original. Now, I am going to come over here to Noiseless AI, and automatically, look at this. It already advised me that middle is a good one to use. So I'm going to use middle, let it do its thing, and look at this. Already it's looking phenomenal. But we do have other options here. So if I click on the information icon, it's going to tell me exactly what Noiseless AI does for me. Now, we have that down. That's great. But you know what? I want to learn more. So I'm going to click on Learn More. And let me bring this over for you. A moment. And when I click on Learn More, let me close that. There we are. And let me bring it in. Here's what it does for me. All right. Not only does it take me to the website, to our user manual, but it's going to tell me exactly what are each of the tools doing for me. So we already know what luminosity noise is doing. We already know what color noise, and that's going to make sure it removes any of the artifacts that we have in it. It's here, the detail and the sharpness. These two features right here is where we really can use tweaking of what we have. So let me hide this. So let's come over here and watch this. I'm going to zoom a little bit closer. Here's detail. If I move it to the right at 100, what it's going to end up doing to me, or doing for me, is it's going to bring back some of the detail. But look what it does to it. It's also going to introduce more of the noise. If I take that detail slider and I crank it all the way to the left, now it's going to really do a great job removing the noise. But look at the blur that it's incorporating. So we're going to try to finesse it to where it's a balance between the two. And then here's sharpening, same concept. If I go to the left, it's not going to have as much sharpening. To the right is where we're going to have full sharpening. It's really not making that huge of a difference for this image. So I'm going to bring it right about here. All right. So that's one way how we're going to make sure that Noiseless helps us get rid of it. Now let's continue. All right. So overall, if I come to Enhance AI, I want to bring out some of the background. Notice the orders of operation. I started first with Noiseless, got that out of the way. Then I'm going to jump up to enhancing the image. And here I want to bring out some of the shadows, because if I notice some of the noise is being reintroduced, I could run Noiseless AI again on it as a separate instance. All right. From here, I like what it's doing. But what I do want is to come up to the Develop tool, and let's see what happens if we enrich the black tones. Yeah, that's not bad. And I'm going to bump up the shadows a little bit more. And there we have it. All right, so let's look at the difference. Before, after, if I zoom in really, really tight, get in here, let's look at the big difference. Ready? Here's before, look at all that noise. After. So that's one way of how we're going to fix this. Now, here's a real good secret. If you're stuck, because in my mind, when I kept doing this, I kept telling myself, you know what? 5000 ISO on a Nikon Z6 II mirrorless camera. It's not bad. It's not the greatest. It's not bad. In my mind, what I kept thinking on was, what if I converted this to black and white? So in camera, I did set the white balance to black and white, or the white mode. And the reason I did that was I wanted to see how this image would look if I photographed it in black and white, or if I converted it into black and white. So inside your camera, you can set your color profile. I changed it just to see what vivid would do, what would black and white do, and so on. But keep in mind, when you do that with your black and white, when you do that in camera with camera raw, it's going to change it when you bring it into any of the editing programs. Where it's going to make a difference is if you photographed it black and white. If you photographed it in JPEG and in RAW. So that's what I did here. But look at this. I liked what it did. Now the noise actually is pretty cool with the black and white. So, and I can come in a little bit more, tweak it. Let's say take the reds up a little bit, maybe dial back the yellows right about there, because reds and yellows are going to be found in the face. Let's see what's in there green, the background. Look at that. Right in here. Just make that darker. Let's see what's cyan. Same thing. And look what it's doing to a shirt. Oh, I like that. And let's see what blue is doing. Ooh, interesting. And you know what? Let's leave blue right about here. And what's magenta going to do? All right, just the hand off to the side. So magenta really doesn't play too big of a role. But look at this. Before and after. All right? So there we have it. That's how, again, you're being more strategic when you're photographing in low light situations like this. This is where properly learning how to hold your camera is key. I can't stress that enough. Watching people hold their camera with their hand on top at 400 of a shutter speed. I really wish this was at least 1200 to 1600th of a second. Would have been phenomenal, but that would have jacked my ISO up to like 10,000, if not higher. So turn your hand under, in a perfect position, push that camera up to your face, excuse me, up to your face, so you have stability. And I sat in a chair to make sure that I had no motion blur. So from that perspective, we did everything we could to keep that ISO down to that 5,000 range. The other was panning just slightly as you take the shot, put it in burst mode. And the reason for burst mode is to capture the action. But if I'm pressing it down and it's taking 5, in this case, 5 frames a second, I just moved with the player, and every so often I would do a stutter shot. And the reason for that is, imagine if you were dribbling and I just pressed it the entire time. Well, then you're going to get the ball in the same position. By changing it up with the stuttering, it gives you different shots in each composition all the way through. All right, so that's how we do it in camera. If that doesn't work, like I said, we can go through. And once again, look at this. I like what it looked like here. All right, so we have that all set. Now, let's see if I have this set up for you. Nope. Let me get back to the desktop. Here we are. Let me bring this over for you. And what I did while we were on vacation for the Christmas break, I did write this article called Big Goals, Fresh Adventures for a Positive Habits for 2025. Here is the link to it right here. So you can check that out. Let's see. It's on Yep, right there it is. It's on photo focus. You can check it out. Big goals, fresh adventures, and briefly it's going to talk about creating a Masagi or Masogu. It's one big life-changing goal, and then you sprinkle in there a couple others, which is 6 mini adventures throughout. So every other month doing something like a little mini adventure, and then one last one every 4 months or every quarter, build one new habit. So here's how it all comes together. Your Masagi, it gives you one big goal to work towards, something that just keeps you motivated throughout the whole year. Then the 6 little mini adventures just add spark and joy to creativity of what you're doing. And then each quarter build one new habit. Hopefully it's a positive habit all the way through throughout the years. By the end of the year, you'll have 4 new habits, 6 little mini adventures, and you'll achieve one major goal. How does this pertain to photography? Well, think about what do you want to do for 2025? Come up with ideas, and then from there, set that one big goal, mini adventures, and then 4 new habits. All right? Now, for those that are here, doing it for the live show, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. We're going to review the topic of today, plus we're going to dive deeper into this topic about goal setting for 2025. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.